This miniature is the last of a set of 3 leprechauns from Reaper Miniatures. I have painted one of each for the last 3 St. Patrick's Day holidays, and I can finally say that I'm done. I did prime this miniature using an airbrush, however if you don't have an airbrush and wanted to follow these steps, you can just prime with the brush, as I do not use the airbrush for anything else. I will be skipping the steps taken for the black clothing, brown leathers and buckles, and for the white socks. The steps taken to paint the green jacket and hat follow the same workflow as those, so you're not really missing out on anything. And as always, the paints and steps for everything done for this model will be shown as a spreadsheet excerpt at the end of this video. With 3 tones of green, I begin building up highlights, leaving a little bit of black to show through where it's darkest. I will admit I almost didn't make a video on this miniature at all, as I'm not particularly proud of it. I didn't spend much time on it, less than 4 hours, including cleaning up the miniature and adding it to the base. I had gotten extremely sick several weeks ago and was coughing so hard that I managed to herniate a disc and caused a pinched nerve that I'm still suffering from. Numb fingers, pain in the back of the hand, forearm, bicep, shoulder, shoulder blade, and my neck has all become the norm. It is slowly getting better with a lot of rest. However, even something as simple as painting a miniature has become a painful chore. Painting for more than 5 to 10 minutes at a time is currently impossible due to how much my hands can start to shake. I was hoping to have 22 more miniatures painted by the end of this month, but there's no way that I'm going to make that. Though I think I can still churn at least a few of them out, as a lot of them are in various stages of completion, with some closer to the finish line than others. I'm glad I ultimately stuck it out, as when I took the photograph of the 3 leprechauns together, it made me realize something important, and that I'll discuss at the end of this video. Anyway, enough about my troubles and failings on keeping my timelines, and back to what I did for this project. I have one more step for the hat and jacket after building up the 3 highlights of green, but for now I decided to move on to the flesh. Like the jacket, I built up highlights of 3 tones, leaving some black where I wanted shadows, as well as leaving the eye sockets black. This will save me a step from having to paint the sockets again later. I didn't do anything fancy for these highlights, just built up some basic layer highlights, covering a little less area with each pass, and focusing the brighter tones the higher up on the miniature. As you may have noticed, the bottle had already been started, as it shares some of the same tones as the flesh. However, for the sake of making each section easier to follow as steps, I rearranged the cuts of video. For the last highlight of flesh, I chose unbleached titanium, which ended up being too stark of a jump, so I went back over these sections with peach to rein it in just a little. For the hair, it was much the same. I started with 3 tones of red-brown to red and began building up highlights, leaving a little bit of black here and there. Each highlight covered a little less area than the previous and built up mostly where an overhead light source could reach. I did a 4th highlight to the hair, mixing in some of the off-white to act as the natural reflective sheen. Jumping to the eyes, I painted the sclera with off-white, followed by a dot of green for the iris and a smaller dot of black for the pupil, before setting my sights on the bottle. Since leprechauns are an Irish thing, and my favorite Irish beverage can be nothing else than Guinness, I decided to try to put a bottle of the heavy draft into this fellow's diminutive hands, and started with the first 2 tones that I used for the flesh, slowly sketching out the designs as best as I could despite my current ailments. After the first two highlight tones were done, I came back with some of the black from my palette from painting the pants off camera, and I cleaned up the pattern some, straightening out the golden brown line. Then, with yellow oxide, I added the third highlight, shifting the appearance of the bottle cork and labeling to more of a gold than the flesh color tones, before adding a few touches of the off-white used in previous steps. For the highlights of the glass bottle itself, I decided to use blue tones instead of gray like was used for the highlighting in the pants, to help ensure distinction between the two different materials. These highlights were added as hatching lines, loosely following the bottle's shape. I layered a second highlight for mixing that ever-present off-white into the blue. I then went back with some transparent inks, adding these lightly here and there to help smooth the transitions and the shadows just a little. Raw umber for the browns and a little on the hair. Phthalocyanine green for the jacket and hat, and a little magenta for the flesh. Ultimately, these were not enough to blend the rough transitions, especially for the highlights, though it did help just a little. After finishing flocking the base off camera, I was able to then call it a night. This is where I stopped. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, I wasn't very happy with this miniature initially. Mainly I had a hell of a time painting it due to constant pain and shaking hands, and ultimately I cut too many corners for my tastes. I needed to have spent more time blending the highlights of the skin and green clothing, and I probably ought to have hit the blues on the bottle with some glazes of black to tone them back just a little, so they at least look less bluish. And for that horrible mold line I somehow missed on the right arm, well, sometimes it's just do what it be, or it be what it do, or I forget which. As for what I liked the most about this miniature, the eyes were decent, and I think most of the highlight placements weren't too bad. I think I was on the right track for the bottle as well. If I spent another hour or two glazing things, as well as a few more light passes with some of the highlights, I think this could have looked markedly better. Now, the reason why I decided that I actually wanted to make this video at all stemmed from when I took this final picture of all three leprechauns standing side by side. The left one was from 2 years ago, the middle one from last year, and of course the right from this year. Last year's was clearly leaps and bounds better than the first, and this latest one looks much like a rougher sketch than a finished product. That is what I noticed at first, and it left me a little disheartened. However, I then looked at my spreadsheet where I keep track of what steps and colors I use for miniatures painted, and some general metrics. What interested me the most was the amount of time that I spent on each of these. The first leprechaun took about 6 hours. The second took about 9 hours, and this latest one, I spent less than 3.5 hours. That grossly changed my feelings about this miniature, going from the thoughts of an emphatic, I did worse than last year, to a much more forgiving, I almost did as good as last year, and in less than half of the time. And that'll bring this video to its end. I hope you learned something or inspired to start or expand your own collection of mischievous, minute hellions from Irish folklore, replete with tiny bottles of the nectar of the gods, aka Guinness. Drink responsibly. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, you can easily support the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.